a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC News, and they're brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. Opponents of a high-rise residential development at the Port of Rochester have at least 2 Facebook pages now, and they're posting videos like this one on YouTube against the project. This is the latest update. Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren picked the larger-scale Edgewater Group project, which includes a 10 to 13-story condominium tower in the Charlotte neighborhood, over a project of a little more than half that size. The opponents say the Edgewater plan is too big, not appropriate for Charlotte. City Hall says after years of talks and meetings with the Charlotte community and the Charlotte Merchants Associations that the $77 million Edgewater development has the scale to be an economic success. City Housing and Economic Development Commissioner Spencer Ash has said an 8-month process of negotiations and meetings is now getting underway that will end up with the final shape of the project on paper. More community opinion gathering is built in. One man is dead, another is recovering at Strong Memorial Hospital after a double shooting in Rochester yesterday. Police say they were called to the Family Dollar store on Genesee Street, where they arrived to find one man dead and another injured by gunfire. The men were shot several blocks away outside a house near the corner of Genesee and Kirkland Streets. They drove to the Family Dollar parking lot for help. An investigator says the broad daylight shooting was witnessed by a number of people, and they already have received some tips. Police are asking anyone with information about the shootings to call 911. UR Medicine briefed Brockport area residents on plans to open a full-service emergency department at Strong West, the former Lakeside Hospital in Brockport. Since the hospital closed down last year, people with emergency medical needs have had to go into Rochester. UR Medicine has bought the property and is converting it into an ambulatory surgical center, but it's also pursuing the necessary permits to open a freestanding emergency room at what it now calls Strong West. Officials say there will be no inpatient beds, but there will be observation beds for patients who will stay 24 hours or less, and they're planning to open the new facilities in mid-July. One of the biggest buildings in Greece has a sold sign on it and may be coming down in favor of a retail complex. The Democrat and Chronicle says it checked with the realtor after spotting the sold banner on the old Odenbach Shipbuilding Company off Dewey Avenue. It's a 33-acre site occupied by an enormous metal building. Workers once cranked out fuel tanker and other ocean-going ships there during World War II. The family that owns it has reportedly accepted a sale offer from a West Coast group that wants to redevelop it. First, a lot of toxic contamination, mostly organic solvents from the plant's metalworking days, needs to be cleaned up. The State Labor Department says Rochester's unemployment rate has dropped by a full point from March of 2013 to this March, from 7.7 down to 6.7%. That's a little better than the upstate average of 7%. The lowest jobless rate in the state is in Ithaca and Tompkins County. They're sort of affecting the curve. Their unemployment rate is just 4.4%. Officials break ground this afternoon for the new Irondequoit Public Library next door to Town Hall on Titus Avenue. It's been a long road to get to this point, involving a planning and public meeting process, then 2 referendums. A lawsuit brought by a minority of opponents invalidated the first referendum and led to the second. Both votes passed by substantial margins, and the town is moving forward. Superintendent Adam Bello says it should be finished in the fall of 2015. Assemblyman Joe Morelli is not seeking another term as head of the Democratic Party in Monroe County. Morelli has served in the Assembly since 1991 and is now the majority leader. He says he's focusing on that job, and the increasing workload means it's time to step aside as chair. Morelli's term ends in December. His term as chair, that is. His replacement will be chosen in September. State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman has taken on Viking International Furniture of Victor over what the AG calls a deceptive going-out-of-business sale. Schneiderman announced a settlement with the furniture company under which they'll pay a $30,000 penalty and stop what he calls deceptive and misleading advertising. Schneiderman's office says Viking International got a permit for a 30-day going-out-of-business sale, advertised a 5-day-only sale for nearly 8 weeks, and trucked in new merchandise to keep the sale going. That is illegal under New York law. Going-out-of-business sales are supposed to be for liquidation of stock and store furnishings only, and they have to list a definite end date. At City Hall, they marked Earth Day by cutting the ribbon on a public electric vehicle charging station. There are already some of them in city parking garages and at the public market. There are actually now 24 public and a number of private EV charging stations around the area. The City Hall ones are free for the first year once you get a free ChargePoint card or download the smartphone app. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one. We post updates around the day as necessary, and I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.